Welcome to Group 3. I'm Học.
I'm Hiền.
I'm Hòa.
If you are so boring during COVID-19,
If you don't have a boyfriend or if you have much deadline,
If you are quarantined because you are F0, F1 or F8, let's watch this great and interesting movie with us.
today we are going to review a movie, Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice is a well-known novel written by the author James Austen in 1813. Though it is mostly called a romantic novel, it is also a satire. This novel, after many following up adaptations, be adapted into the movie Pride and Prejudice in 2005, directed by Joe Wright. The story begins with the contact back in the 19th century in rural England, where our female protagonist lives with her family in Longbourn, the Bennet family. The Bennet family includes 5 different daughters, namely Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Catherine, and Lydia.
From the beginning of the story, it is very prominent that Mrs. Bennet is anxious about marrying up all her daughters to suitable suitors. The reason behind her anxiousness is the law that prohibits women from inheriting their parent estate. Therefore, without a husband, her 5 daughters' lives will be at stake. Thus, after Miss Bennet dies, the family estate will be inherited by William Collins, the far cousin, and also the next male in line for inheritance list. Then one day, Miss Brinley, the neighbor of the Bennet family, moved into nearby Netherfield for estate searching. He meets Jane and the Bennet sisters at assembly ball with his sister, Caroline, and friend, Miss Darcy, and are instantly smitten with each other. On the contrary, Elizabeth disliked the aloof Darcy right away as she overhears his disparaging remarks about her.
Mr. Collins, a self-important clergyman, pays a visit to Bennet. Being Bennet's nephew, Collins is set to inherit Longbourn. He plans on proposing to Jane, but Mrs. Bennet suggests Elizabeth instead. The day after the ball, was obliged to meet Darcy's request for a dance. Collins proposed only to be rejected by Elizabeth, much to Mrs. Bennet's horror. Soon she finds out that he is betrothed to her best friend, Charlotte, who defends herself by saying that not everyone can afford to be a romantic. Later on her visit to a newlywed Collins, Elizabeth finds out that Mr. Darcy is the reason behind Mr. Bingley leaving, terminating his relationship with Jane. Disgusted, Elizabeth is approached by Darcy, who proposes marriage and declares his love to her most ardently, despite her low social standing. As she rejects him, she criticizes Darcy's treatment of Lieutenant Wickham. Leaving Darcy shattered, he soon defends himself with a letter exposing Wickham's true character.
Elizabeth visits Pemberley, the Darcy estate, with the Gardiners, where Darcy invites them to dinner and introduces her to sister Georgina, who reveals Darcy's fondness of Elizabeth. She early receives a letter stating that Lydia has eloped with Wickham to wake Darcy abruptly. As she returns home, she finds out that Lydia and Wickham are now married, thanks to Darcy paying for the wedding and Wickham the commission to impress Elizabeth.
Miss Brinley returns to town and proposes to Jane, who heartily accepts. Later that night, Lady Caroline arrives to see Elizabeth and demands her never become engaged to Darcy. In the next early morning, Elizabeth encounters Darcy, who apologizes for his own intrusion and again proposes to her, with a chance of her having finally found the love she has desperately longed for. She accepts.
Hey Hop, what do you feel after watching this movie?
I love the movie because of the romantic storyline, and also it is humor, which is used as a primary artistic means of the narrative based on the style chorus, but its popularity is largest because of how the film is so ahead of its time, with the revolving around the importance of education, marriage, financial viability, and tourism in the United Kingdom during the Regency era. And you, why?
I've watched so many romantic movies, but this one wins. The love is so pure, beautiful, and superbly authentic. I have butterflies watching this, especially during the kiss. At the end, the love slowly grew into something that not even them could control. Characters play the characters so well. Their looks, their personalities, the tension between them, all of it. Darcy and Elizabeth's story is breathtaking.
Oh, then what can you express the feeling about the movie?
Good. In more than 2 hours of a romantic Hollywood movie, I want to see more interaction between the main actors and their love story. I want my heart to be racing, or at least beating slightly faster, but at the final sign, I feel nothing. Just Elizabeth sits in the hallway and bets that it might miss Darcy leg. It's really disappointing. After a long time they don't realize each other fully.